Blackness,
We're
I'm
here.
here.
I started streaming. Wrong button. Anyway, hel-
Hello.
hello people, and welcome to yet another episode of Who's at Anime? With your host Steve and Colin,
Hello.
or him and me.
Yeah,
Uh,
as that's an in joke for people that listened to the last episode.
yeah, listen to the last episode, and you might understand what we're on about. Anyway, we're continuing our
Mike,
we're continuing our discussion on the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzmiya. As always, been watching this in broadcast order, and we're just started on the second season of the show, which
yep.
in this episode is kind of special in the sense that we're doing just one episode,
Yeah,
because
we're not going to do. Normally, we do two episodes, but this one, the way this worked out is that the whole reason, or one of the reasons we wanted to do this show was because we wanted to talk about the infamous saga Endless Eight, which is like an 8-part series within the series, and we didn't want to do this episode and the first part of that, and then have to split up the last episode as well. So we're gonna power through, do one episode, and then we're gonna come back and do basically Endless Eight in 4 different parts.
yeah,
Guys,
because why elongate our suffering on the endless eight?
oh, I mean,
We'll find
yeah,
out.
yeah,
We'll
we
find.
need
Never
we need to
watched
get
it.
through that. And then there's the movie that we discussed. That's 2 hours and 43 minutes long.
Yeah, that's like an entire season.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah. That's not far off an entire season.
There's 14 episodes, 22 minutes each, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you're like basically looking at sort of a whole season being around 5 hours.
Yeah.
So you're well over halfway.
Yeah, it's a long movie. Anyway, what episode we're going to talk about today then?
We're going to talk about Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody.
Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody.
Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody.
So yes, this is technically, I think, episode 8 in the actual chronological order.
Yes, it is.
So it's 2 episodes from the end of the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzmiya, which we talked about last episode. Harking back to our last episode.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't know what you're doing either.
Don't know. I'm making bread, rolling some bread in my hand.
Are we going to do Yakata Japan? Is that what this clue is? Are we finally going to do it?
Are you going to do it? I watched it all.
I watched the first episode and I was like, this is an anime about bread. I'm super down. If only I could find a place to fucking watch it.
I got it all in DVD somewhere, technically.
Sure. I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to basically just name drop every show that we're potentially considering doing just to add a bit of confusion to what the hell it is we might jump onto next.
Yeah, because we've certainly not talked about what we're actually doing next. I think we have. I think we know what we're doing. But we're not mentioning it, so don't worry. Anyway, back to the actual show that we should be talking about.
Yes.
Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody.
Yeah, this episode takes place on the 7th of July, which is I think a holiday in Japan. It's called Tanabata.
Something like that, yeah.
Tanabata. I don't speak Japanese and I'm just awful at this. Let me try and find a pronunciation. Nope, can't find one. However, it is to do with it's basically means evening of the 7th. So the 7th of July, also known as the Star Festival.
Okay. I think I might have heard maybe that translation before. Not to be
Yep.
confused with July the 4th. But
No.
kind of sidelines us onto another topic I want to make. Is it the War of Tomorrow or something like that? It's getting released on July the 2nd. It's like got Chris Pratt in it. And essentially,
Oh, I
it's
saw a trailer for that.
yeah, I just watched the trailer today. And it's like coming out on the 2nd of July. I was like, yeah, yeah. War maybe coming out in the 2nd of July, 2 days before Independence Day. That's
But I believe War of the Worlds was released on 4th of July, the Tom Cruise one, or
yeah.
there or thereabouts.
I think they have a notion to put these kind of movies out at that time of year, not just because it's summer.
I'm not gonna lie, that Chris Pratt film looks like the most generic sci-fi movie
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have ever seen.
Well,
Like
it's
it has no distinguishing features. I watched it and I was like, oh, that looks like that. That looks like that. That looks like that. I have no idea. I'm not. I'm not interested.
he's
And
got
Chris
an.
Pratt he's pretty good. So like normally that should be enough. It is not enough. I don't want to see it.
I think it's coming out in Amazon as well. Seems to be
Well,
on Amazon.
Passengers fooled me once, so I'm definitely never going to trust. Oh, it's got Chris Pratt in it, so maybe it'll be good. Because Passengers was not good.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I think I watched that on Netflix.
It's real bad.
Yeah, there's some weird anime cartoon thing that I don't know. I might if it ever pops on my Facebook like uh um re- recommendations, I might send it to you. It was a bit
Okay.
weird.
Well, I mean, the thing is that my algorithm is so broken because of your algorithm being broken. So
Hey, don't blame me.
I got offered a video on YouTube the other day, and it's like a guy who was like, "Oh, I spent 9 hours making an animated video of this dinosaur just to do this," and it's like an Anderson .Paak song and a dinosaur talking about how he's got a gun, and it's just animating in a really weird way. And it's like, this is like 15 seconds long. Also, it turns out there's 19 other videos that are almost exactly like this, and I've now watched them all. So my algorithm is now even more screwed.
That's not my fault. I have not seen that. What I watched today on YouTube was crows picking off ticks off of wallabies.
Fantastic.
So
And now that you said it, my algorithm is now ready
yeah,
to show me that video. But
is it
as a quick aside, and we'll get back onto the episode in a second, but it's just occurred to me, are you aware of the TV show Supernatural?
supernatural? I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yep. Two brothers that are the hunters.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Did you know that they did a season of anime?
What, where it was just a whole anime of supernatural?
No, they did a separate Supernatural the anime season.
No, I was not aware.
I feel
Vaguely.
like we should watch
If it's standalone, it's fine. It's fine. Here we go.
20 episodes.
Oh God, it's a proper season.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, that's not
Never got a
our.
second.
That's not our thing.
I was really yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, on to topic. So Tanabata is it's the 7th of July, which is the festival of the 7th, and it's about stars, essentially, something or other. I don't know, Vega and another star that I
yeah,
can't quite remember.
yeah, I watched it today and I can't remember.
So essentially, like, this is the first time we've seen like Haruhi being sort of really engaged. Like she's just super into this as a thing. And the idea is that she she takes a bamboo plant. He's like, "Where did you get that bamboo plant that you have there?" She's like, "Oh, I found it in the forest." And he's like, "That's called taking private property."
Yeah,
She's like, "Shut up. This is mine." And I brought these things, which are like things you write wishes on.
Yeah, they're the labels.
Yeah, and she kind of explains that she's researched this deeply because the two stars are 10 and 16 light years away, and therefore,
Oh no,
in order just to get there,
25 and 16 light years away.
it's 25 and 16. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
And what you're doing is that you have to wish that far forward. So you need to make a wish that's 16 years for 16 years from now, or for 25 years from now, because then it will just come back and be true. And he said, but by that logic, wouldn't that mean that it would take 32 years and 50 years to be relevant? She said, no, they're like gods. They could just make it happen. It's like, yep,
yeah.
seems like. Uh, she like basically forces everyone to write their wishes. Uh, I think Keelan wants money and a car.
No, no, it's he wants money and he wants a house with a yard big enough that he can wash his dog.
That's it.
It's like
It's a
what?
house. Yeah.
He wants a house
Yep.
with a yard as big enough so you can wash a dog.
And what does Harry want? She wants.
She wants to be the center of the attention.
Yes, and he's like,
Uh,
yeah, I was right. Mine are not the worst.
yeah.
It's like yours is clearly the worst.
I can't remember what our
Uh,
second one was.
no, neither can I.
It's
But
something
essentially,
the same thing.
I think at this point it's like they're all in the SOS Brigade's office in their club room, and Mikuru, who's been relatively absent from like the last two episodes, uh, sort of puts a note down, one of the little wish tokens down on next to Kyon, and it reads that she wants to meet him or wants him to stay in the room after everyone's gone.
Yeah. I mean, should maybe talk about all other people's wishes as well.
Did they have interesting wishes? The text was going by very quickly.
I stopped reading them. I think Mikuri wants to be better at cooking and sewing,
Sure.
and he was like, "Yeah, she doesn't really get the idea." Koizumi was just basically pretty generic. It was like, "I wish my family to be happy for my family and world peace." And
Yep.
Yuki was a harmony and something else, something like, yeah. The only two interesting ones was really Kion's and Harry's.
Yeah. They so basically he is then like very excited at the prospect of what's coming here because he makes no bone about it, no pun intended, that he's super into Mikuru.
Oh yeah. Should also point out that as soon as Harry kind of hangs up the wishes and sticks the tree out the window, he kind of becomes all somber and quiet and eventually
Yeah,
leaves the clubhouse.
it's like the realization that yeah, because the realization is she goes, oh, it's a really long time.
Yeah,
It's like she loses interest straight away.
yeah. Anyway, back to Kyon getting excited to meet
Yeah,
Mikuru.
so he gets super excited to meet Mikuru. Everybody else leaves, but on her way out, Yuki leaves a note
Yeah.
next to as well. But he doesn't actually read it. He pockets it while Mikuru is trying to explain. She's like, "I want to take you to a place." He's like, "Okay, a place, right? I'm down. Where are we going?" She's like, maybe like 3 years in the past or something."
Yeah.
Um, okay, sure, seems legit.
He,
uh,
he's interested in going because he's only ever heard her saying that she was a time traveler and meeting future Mikuru.
yes,
So he's like, I know her. I'll get to see her powers because he's seen everyone else's powers by now. He saw
yeah,
Yuki's fighting Ryuko.
well, that's true. And he saw Koizumi fighting the giant blue thing
Yeah.
and the camel cricket as well. So, although he met future Mikuru.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's only met her. He's not really experienced it.
Yeah, that's the proof. The only proof he's had.
Yeah. So he's
Um,
so yeah. So he sits down, gets his bag ready, and goes. And she goes, "Oh, you don't need to go anywhere. Do this here." So he just sits in his chair with Mikuru behind her, and then gets knocked out or something.
yep, just falls asleep.
Yep. And then finds himself with his head on her lap, and says, "Oh, good. Thank goodness you got up because my lap was getting numb."
That's right.
Or like,
My legs were going numb, so I'm glad you are now awake.
yeah. And then he questions if really is in the past,
Yep,
and asks Mikuru how if she was. She says, "Yes, we are definitely. I totally know this." And she's
yep.
quite the most assertive she's ever been in that statement.
Yes, yeah. It's very weird.
Hmm. And
Um,
then she goes to sleep.
she does. She just puts her head on his shoulder and nods off.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
Yeah. And then older Mikuru appears again and says some
Yep.
things.
Yeah, she's put her to sleep because she can't know. She didn't see her the first time this happened, so she
Yeah.
can't see her now. But she's going to give Kyon some instructions. She's like, "Look, I need you to go up this path to a gate where there will be someone that needs your help. But also, I need you to carry younger me
Yeah.
to do that." He's like, "This sounds like a quest from a video game or something. Do I get something?" And she's like, "Well, I'm not supposed to give you something, but you can kiss the younger me while she's asleep." And it's like, he's like, I don't know about that.
Oh, this goes against my morals.
Yeah, and like I'm kind of on board with that. It's like, no, I don't think that's cool. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Also, why is older you offering that? That's super weird.
That is super weird.
She's like getting some sort of kick out of that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Some weird stuff going on there.
yeah. So he ends up carrying her to the gate, where
Yep.
there's this child is trying to climb a gate,
Yep.
and basically notices him, or does he go hey to her?
I think he does. He shouts her, and then she turns round, and then the realization is like, oh shit, it's Haruhi.
Yeah.
It's seventh grade Haruhi. What's she doing here? Why is she breaking into the school?
Yeah. Sure, he goes like, you can't be doing that. Or what you doing? Oh, I'm breaking and entering.
Yeah, and he's like, only Haruhi would be so, into that.
Blatant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then then she like says, right, you're helping me, and ropes him into doing all the work.
Too good.
Because
Too good.
she'll phone the cops.
Yeah.
He know it'd be hard and wrong, and he's just carrying some girl.
it's
Yeah.
it's quality. It's such a silly thing where like, because then she's literally the same. She has not changed, but of course it's 3 years ago. So there's this thing of like, well, it's that mystical 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Of course, she doesn't recognize him because she's never seen him.
Mhm.
But she's barking orders at him to like make the pitch marking, like mark out something on the ground and yelling at him to do it. Like not even caring. It's like, why is she like shouting at a random school kid? She doesn't even know who I am.
Yeah. Knows that he goes to, was it North High? That's the school.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Yeah, he goes to North High School. Um. Anyway, she gets some like, was it chalk? Is it that what you call it? The stuff to mark out pitches.
It's basically the pitch marking. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a chalky type stuff. Yeah, and
yeah.
makes draw out these letters, or well, this language
Hmm.
definitely doesn't look Japanese, and it's not English. So
Yeah. And then Kyon remembers his buddy mate telling him that she did this crazy thing, writing out letters, giant letters on the schoolyard, and turns out it's actually Kyona's did all the work, and not
yep,
Haruki.
that crazy thing that happened that she didn't even do, and it was you, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Um. So he goes and does all this stuff because she's the supervisor.
Yep,
Instinctually takes the supervising role.
yep.
Uh, and it's still the 7th of July,
Hmm.
and it's a message to the aliens and stuff.
Yeah, a message to the stars.
Yeah, because it's Toniki or something. Toniki?
Uh, Tanabata.
Tanabata. Tanabati.
Um, but basically, she kind of gets to asking him about if he knows any espers, if he knows any aliens, if he knows any time travelers or things like that, and he's very coy about his answers. And she asks if it's a slider. Have you seen a slider? And he's like, no, haven't met one of those yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you think that maybe they would go to North High? Yeah, I'd say that there's probably people like that there. Oh, North High, eh?
Something like that. Well, I don't think. I think she was just basically, do you believe in these? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I do now, type thing. Because
I would love to meet people like that. Do people like that go to North High? Yes, I think they do. Then she's like super into it. And with that, she's like, well, fuck off. I'm going.
I'm going home. See you later,
Yep,
chump.
doesn't even say thanks. I suppose we have missed the part where he's like, so who's she? And he's like, oh well, she's my older sister, and she has bouts of narcolepsy. So, it's like, yep, a likely story. But Haruhi doesn't seem to give a shit as long as the work's being done. So
Yeah. Uh. So
he wakes Mikuru up.
yes, does wake her up at that point, and then she's in a panic. I'm like, where am I?
Yeah,
What am I doing? What? Ah.
I lost it. I lost. Oh shit! I've lost. Oh no! Where's the time machine? I don't know where it is. What is? I've lost the TBDD or whatever it's called. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Is that the time machine?" She's like, "I tell you, but it's classified."
Yeah. All I know is we're stuck here for 3 years.
Yeah. And then, of course, he remembers that note in his pocket and goes to look at it, and it's basically it's the same that was written out in the pitch, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yuki has essentially given him what that text was
Yeah.
uh, on one of those wish tickets.
Mhm.
So we'll go and see Yuki, and they do. They go to visit Yuki. He's like, everything is going to be fine. Knock on the door, and there she is. Answers just like she looks now, 3 years from now, because
Yeah.
she obviously doesn't age.
Uh, yeah. Basically, she rings the doorbell and then claims that they know her from the future or something, and then claims that has to say, uh, "What do you know of Haruhi Suzumiya?" And then she
Oh,
opens
that's
the
right.
door. The
Yeah.
keyword.
What if I told you I know Haruhi Suzumiya? It's like, come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's this is the bit where he's like, so it's like, yeah, you're dressed in a North High uniform. Are you registered to go there? No, I'm just waiting. You're just waiting for 3 years? Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And on
like,
standby.
okay. Yeah, on standby for 3 years. That sounds not good.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
Uh,
And of course, essentially, they speak to Yuki about time travel. And Yuki explains that the methods that Mikuru and her crew are using are imperfect and not always functional, and that she's going to do it just right. It's fine. Doesn't matter. I can make this happen. And it's like, so what we're going to do? We're going to get you to lie down in this room.
yeah. Should we go back a few steps? The park bench that they were on when they meet older Mikuru.
Oh, that was the place where he had met Yuki that first time as well.
Yeah. And it's like,
That's
what's
right.
with this place? And they look at a house. In front of the bench looks on top of the house.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that house is Haruhi Suzumiya's house?
Oh, I hope so. That would be amazing.
That would be a
Holy shit.
yeah.
So I hope that's Harui's house.
Don't know. We'll ever find out. Maybe.
Ah, man, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go into this room, and she's just made two beds
Yeah.
on the ground. Like, so, you know, just go to sleep, like in the same room, and they're very uncomfortable and sheepish about it.
Mhm.
Uh, and you know, they eventually say, "Okay, fine, I guess we'll lie down." And Yuki's just like, "Cool, night." Lights off, shuts the door, and then the next thing we know, lights are on.
Yeah. He Keon kind of watches her, shuts the door, and puts the light off, and then closes his eyes, and then instantly gets told to get up. And he's like,
Yep.
"What?"
I must admit, this is, I think, maybe the coolest thing that has the whole show has done.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, but we should maybe once again step back a bit because he hands the note over to Yuki that he has in his pocket, and then
Oh yeah.
she reads it and then links with the Yuki in the future.
So I have problems with this
Uh-huh.
because, and what we're saying is that, or even if this is the perception, is that the Yuki in the future is the furthest forward Yuki is. Is that what we're saying?
Well, that we know of,
Exactly. So why isn't Yuki from present always talking to Yuki from future and just knowing everything all the time?
because she has to make the link with that paper. I don't know. She reads it and
Does she?
apparently that's kind of how it activated in this point.
I don't know. I'm not convinced that the paper had anything to do with it.
At the same time, when is it in this episode that Mikuru basically tells him that she's pretty much a trainee?
Oh, that's after she's lost the thing. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm like an assistant. Oh, not an assistant. I'm like an apprentice. Oh, not an apprentice. I'm like a trainee.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's like the volunteer, and the only reason she's hanging around with Harry is because Harry captured her, essentially. Kidnapped
Pretty
her.
much.
It's like, oh, that is covered. Kind of got hanging around with her now. Oops.
So, yeah, that's right. I have some issues with the time travel conversation, but yeah, you're right. Like, that's the conversation, and then when the lights come back on, it's explained that, cool, you're in the present now. It's like, oh, so we time travel? How's that work? It's like, well, I just like she basically stops time in that room.
Yeah, so if you think about like say Red Dwarf and they had like the status booth in the first season, where Lister gets
Oh,
stuck in
yeah.
status for 3 million years, hence why he's the last human left in the show.
Yep,
It,
except Kachansky.
Except Kenshansi. No, Kenshansi's dead.
But everyone's alive after season 6, so
Yeah, and everyone's dead again. Season 8? I think it was 8. It ruined it all. Anyway, let's not diverge anymore. So yeah, so basically they got stuck in a status field. Would be the best way to describe it.
yeah.
Where she's just spending time in that room, and Mikuru was like all inspired by that point. Um, and then I suppose that's it. And they kind of leave, and that's like now them back in the future or present day at a correct time. So it looks like they've never left. And what was the message that was written on? Was it something like "I am here"?
Yes, yes, I am here. And this kind of starts the conversation or the thought with Kyon is like he starts to wonder if he's the reason that Haruhi went to the high school and started doing that in the first place. Like if he was the inspiration behind it all without realizing it.
Yeah,
I think that this is a fine episode, but there's not really too much in it. Like I think there's a couple of really cool things.
I yeah, it kind of moves things on. So one question I got with it, right, is
Hmm.
every character, the Esper, Alien, and Time Traveler, all are underlings of a bigger mastermind.
Well, I mean, uh, Yuki has said as much.
Yeah, and so is Mikuru in this episode. She says she's a trainee, and
Yeah,
her superiors are the ones that's doing it. And he's like,
we
"Oh,
already know there are other espers,
yeah,
and that Koizumi is not the highest up. So
yeah." But who's to say that person
it's not
run?
Haruhi.
It's not Haruhi already running all that from the future
Could be,
or
could
something,
be,
or maybe in Keon himself.
maybe, could be.
Maybe that's
He's
his
the
hit.
inspiration for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I think I think that interaction with him was also set up by future Mikuru in the
Yep,
sense to keep things on track for where the universe is at the moment.
yep,
So yeah, I think he certainly probably put things into perspective for Harry back in seventh grade, where she was looking for something at that point. Hence why
yeah,
the text says, "I am here,"
yeah,
and he mentions that there are these strange things in the world,
yeah.
uh,
That's right.
and sets her path to maybe find them, and then she does pull them together. So I,
Definitely something there. I think.
it's got a lot underneath all the stuff that happens. Um,
So, what do you rate this one then?
this one, I think it's a 7. It's certainly enjoyable.
It continues, Colin.
Yeah,
I'm also on a 7 for this one. Yeah, it was definitely better than part 5 of the previous six-parter, but not quite up to the standard of the last episode. So
yeah. Um, part 5, I think, tried to explain put too much in one like go. It's tried to like force a
yeah,
lot down your throat, and it just got a bit overwhelming. Where this has done it in nice little bits to make you think
yeah,
a bit more about the flow of things.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
So yeah, it kind of puts into question, like you say, a lot about Kyon and his influence, because we think of Haruhi as being the one that has the influence, which she does.
Mm-hmm.
But what influences her? And maybe he's the inspiration. Who knows?
Certainly, it seems that way. For example, in the first episode of Melancholy of Suzumiya, he's the one that puts the club, SOS Club, into her head.
That's true. He does seed the idea, doesn't he?
He sees that idea, and then she's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then she starts pulling all these other people into this club.
Sort of
And
a kind of a Bioshock "Would you kindly" moment.
yeah, I suppose I thought actually was that from the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you need to check that out if you haven't.
I played it to a point, and then all this kind of just find something else to do.
You'll get there.
1 year.
Yeah. So yeah, so we're like I said, we're only going to talk about the one episode today. We're going to come back in the next episode and talk about the first two parts of Endless 8. We are finally here. So there's going to be some serious conversations going on around that. Yeah, other than that, I suppose it leaves us with the ending. So, podcasts, you're listening to one. We're
Or not.
available on all good podcasts, or not, maybe. And if you're not listening to it, then this is not going to make any sense to you because you're not going to hear it. But yeah, we're available on all good podcasting platforms between Pocket Casts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can find us wherever. We're working on putting a video archive of these up onto YouTube, and we'll link those on the Facebook page. We can be found at facebook.com/Who's That Anime. We post memes and when we put up the new episodes, and we'll probably put a link up there into the videos as well. If you like video games, Colin plays video games sometimes at twitch.tv/couchfuel. And there is a back catalogue of all of that on YouTube, which can also be found at Couchfuel. Just search for Couchfuel. Similarly, I play horror games online at twitch.tv/HalePayman. You can find the back catalogue of that on YouTube as well under the same name on the channel. Last but not least, we don't make any money from this. We don't have any sponsors or anything like that. We just kind of do it because we get to talk about anime. But it would be cool to have people to engage with. If you like what we do, or if you don't like what we do, or think we could do things better, leave a review to that effect. That'd be pretty cool. And maybe tell a friend. Let people know that, this podcast is here. And maybe they'll enjoy it. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. So that's basically the end of another episode of Who's That Anime? Hope you enjoyed it. We certainly segued a lot in this start of this one.
Sure did.
But
episode is a good 10 to 15 minutes longer than the episode we discussed.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening. I will catch you next time for Endless 8. Bye.
Bye, folks.
Hey-ho! I know. I'm sorry I'm so late.
What's with the weird greeting in that thing?
I found it in the forest.
Then it's considered private property, you bamboo thief.
Look, I also made tanzaku, so everyone has to write their wishes on them. Tanzaku?
That's right. Today is Tanabata, isn't it?
But first, there are conditions.
What conditions? I don't recall anyone agreeing to anything yet.
Hey, Kyon, I bet you don't know who makes everybody's wishes come true during Tanabata.
Orihime and Hikoboshi?
Lucky guess. That's 10 points. But do you know which stars represent Orihime and Hikoboshi?
I don't.
It's Vega and Altair.
Correct, sir. That's why you hang your tanzaku to face them. 85 points!
Mind telling us where the other 15 points went?
First of all, according to the theory of relativity, it's not possible to travel faster than the speed of light. The distance from the Earth to Vega is 25 light years, and to Altair it's 16. That means any Any information that leaves Earth is going to take at least that much time to reach those stars.
I can't believe you actually researched this stuff.
That's why when you make a wish, it takes such a long time for the gods to make it come true. For example, if you want to have a boyfriend by this Christmas, he won't show up for you in time.
If it takes that long for a wish to go one way, wouldn't it take 50 or 32 years to make it back?
Yeah, but they're gods, so I'm sure they have a way to get around it. Like a half-price summer bargain.
So what happened to the theory of relativity?
There's a Tanzaku for Vega and one for Altair. So the trick is to make wishes you'd want to come true 25 or 16 years from now.
How can we know what we'll be doing 25 or even 16 years from now? What the heck are we supposed to wish for? She's always coming up with these irrational activities for us to do. I keep wondering, which part of the universe does she get her idea of normal from?
Don't be so quick to judge. Despite her actions, Miss Suzumiya has a firm grasp of what normal is.
How can you be so sure about that?
Well, for one thing, she wants the world to be a bit more exciting and unusual, and she has the power to reshape the world according to her whims. Also, the world hasn't lost its rationality yet, has it? That's how I can be so sure.
Hey! Cut out the whispering!
I don't know if she's got the hang of this thing.
I'm afraid mine are a little ordinary.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Shut it. That settles it. Mine are better than yours.
It's apples and oranges.